Ancient humans first came to Sulawesi, a big Indonesian island. A really long time ago, they lived, loved, and painted images of their lives in caves. Today on Documentify TV, we're looking at the oldest cave painting in Indonesia. Java man is one of the oldest known hominid fossils found in Indonesia. These remains, which are scientifically referred to as Homo erectus erectus, were discovered on the island of Java in the late 19th century. The age of these remains is estimated to be between 700,000 and 1.4 million years old. At the time of its discovery, it was the oldest hominid fossil ever found. The cave paintings on Sulawesi are really interesting too. The oldest one is a big picture, 14 feet wide, showing stick people with spears, pigs, and small cow-like animals. We used to think it was 45,500 years old, making it one of the oldest in the world. But a new study says it's even older, at least 51,200 years old. How do we figure out how old these paintings are? We look at how much uranium in the rock has decayed with a thermal ionization mass spectrometer. This is called radiometric dating. Usually we have to take tiny pieces of rock and test them, but this can damage the art and sometimes gives us the wrong age because of newer layers on top. The new study used lasers to scan the rock without taking samples. This is better because it's faster, cheaper, and doesn't hurt the paintings. It also lets us look at just the old layers we care about, not the newer stuff on top. This new information makes us think differently about when humans started making art. We used to think the first pictures of things, not just patterns, were made in Europe long ago. But now it looks like people might have been making these kinds of pictures even before they left Africa and spread around the world. But here's the thing. We don't know for sure if humans made these paintings. Other human-like species lived on Sulawesi before us, so maybe they made the art. The oldest cave painting we know of in Spain is just handprints, and we think Neanderthals made it about 66,700 years ago. This is important because making pictures of things helped humans think better and build societies. It let our ancestors share ideas and feelings easily. We still have a lot of questions about when humans first started making art, but using lasers to look at more cave paintings might help us find answers. Let's talk a bit more about why these cave paintings are so important. They're not just pretty pictures, they're like windows into the past. They show us how our ancestors saw the world around them. The paintings in Sulawesi are really detailed. You can see the pigs have warts and bumps just like real pigs today. This tells us that the artists were paying close attention to the animals they saw. They weren't just drawing from memory or making things up. Paintings also give us clues about how people lived back then. The fact that they drew hunters with spears tells us hunting was important to them. It was probably a big part of their daily lives. But there's still so much we don't know. We can't tell if these paintings were made. Was it to teach hunting skills or just for fun? Maybe they were a way of marking territory or telling stories. We can only guess. One thing that's really cool is that people all over the world were making similar kinds of art around the same time. We found old cave paintings in Europe, Africa, and Asia. This suggests that the urge to make art might be a basic part of being human. Scientists are always finding new ways to study these old paintings. Some are using special cameras that can see colors we can't. Others are looking at the chemistry of the paint to figure out what it's made of. Every new discovery helps us understand a bit more about our ancestors and where we came from. It's like putting together a giant puzzle, with each painting being a tiny piece. That's all for today's episode. If you enjoyed learning about these ancient cave paintings, don't forget to like and subscribe. And tell us in the comments, if you could make a cave painting, what would you draw? See you next time on Documentify TV.